All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
BoJack Horseman, Season 3, Episode 7.
All
Oh,
right.
shit.
Okay, yeah. Got some
BoJack?
developments with BoJack. And
You're
his
in
publicist.
deep water. Yeah.
You need to talk about this to somebody.
Because there is a
Fast.
very good chance that not only is she just dangerous in general,
Yes.
but she also might have a lot of information that she could use to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to just, all the other problems that, are there with what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This feels like if Carolyn became evil, like...
Yeah. What BoJack probably needs to do is go to Carolyn.
Carolyn specifically.
And maybe Diane as well. And be like, hey, ladies,
I need help.
I need help.
I need to talk about
Yeah.
something like this to somebody.
Yeah. That if anybody could help in this situation, it would be Carolyn. I would love to see Carolyn, like, duke it out with this lady.
I would pay good money for that.
Yeah, get that on pay-per-view.
Yeah, get that on pay-per-view. I would. Not for the catfight aspect, but literally just to see Carolyn like take off the stiletto and like beat the shit out of her.
Just crack her neck and be like, all right, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. All right. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Wait, what?
Oh my God.
Todd?
Oh my Todd.
Oh.
Forget a horse face. It's a Todd face.
Guys, I think we could use another phone jack over here.
Another phone jack. Wow.
Reach out and grab you. Oh no, we're a cab company.
Hey, can you toss me the thing? Oh, no. Sorry, the other thing.
Wow. That was an incredible sequence.
Yeah.
Guy's name is BoJack Horseman. He's pretty steamed. I've tried everything, but I think we might need to bring the closer in on this one.
Now, calm
sales
down. I'm sure we can sort this out without
Yeah.
having to get the closer involved.
Just leaves the fire. Oh.
I understand. I'll take it from here. God help us. Is what I say if we needed God's help, but fortunately we got one better. Morning. Good morning. How was your
A
weekend?
closer.
I'm fine. Good work yesterday. Good morning. Get out of my...
We're actually doing this reference.
Yeah.
We have a situation on line 2. Name's Horseman. BoJack Horseman.
Holy shit.
Thank you. I'll take it from here.
Is that
Hello,
his
good
mom?
morning, and I say this with 100% sincerity. How can I help you?
Wait.
No.
No.
No way his mom is successful.
Oh. Why are we building up?
Yeah. Like that was,
I think that was the same voice though, Jacob.
that was multiple layers of like... Yeah. I'm very curious.
Pretty scary, right?
Yes, what the hell is that?
Giant Todd head, of course. I've been working on him for the last 6 months.
What? Why?
It all started when a rustling from the kitchen jostled me from tender slumber.
Ah, yes.
What was that?
Oh my god.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
If there's a ghost present, please do not scream, or have a skull face, or be wearing.
Oh, we're in a
tattered
boring
white
episode of The Twilight
satin
Zone, Jacob.
gown.
That's the joke.
What's Cabracadabra?
That's what I said. What's Cabracadabra?
That's what I said. What's Cabracadabra?
That's what we want you to say.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were about to pitch me an idea.
We
Yes.
are about to
And
pitch you
they're
an idea.
together here. This is cool.
So, why did you let them use your house?
Hey, Todd,
The
where do you
little
want
laugh.
this?
I felt guilty.
About what?
Well, Todd has this old girlfriend. I met her a couple weeks back.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hey, what do you want?
I'll start with a whiskey.
My kind of girl. So then we had sex.
What? Why?
Oh!
I was lonely. She was there. Why does anyone have sex with anyone?
What are we gonna tell Todd?
Nothing, obviously.
I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, neither do I. That's why we're not going to tell him.
I just feel like we should tell him.
That feeling is you selfishly trying to assuage your guilt.
I'm not good at lying. Like, ask me if when I was a little girl, did I ever used to put a stuffed animal in my underpants and rock back and forth on it?
When you were a little girl, did you ever do that thing you just said?
What? Get no!
I
Damn.
think it's gonna be fun. It's not like there's any reason that
Right.
any of us would ever
Yeah.
be in a room together again.
You don't remember BoJack?
Oh yeah, BoJack. What? Why? What are you here? Why are you doing at Todd's house?
Todd's house. This is my house.
It's cool if we set up shop here, right? I mean, that's not going to be weird for you.
What? Why would that be weird? What are you implying?
Nothing?
It's not weird for me either. I mean, if we're
Look at Mr. Peanut Butter.
What is going on here? No, something's going on. I've got a nose for news. And in this case, new is the Greek letter representing the variable for what is going on. So let's solve for new, shall we?
Yeah.
I think someone's not saying something to someone else about something.
That's crazy.
Oh, I know what it is. Abracadabra is going to be huge, and no one wants to say it out loud because we're all afraid we'll jinx it.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is.
Yes, your stupid business is going to be very successful.
When you do bad things, you have something you can point to when people eventually leave you. It's not you tell yourself. It's that bad thing you did. Do you often keep people at arm's length? Are you afraid of being known and knowing others?
And it's going to be revealed at the very end.
Definitely hitting on something real that I would love to drill down into. Can I call you back tomorrow?
Of course.
Great. Bye.
And now he's not canceling the thing.
So, how was your...
He's getting therapy, basically.
So I drove here, right? And I'm sitting at the entrance to the garage when I realize I don't have my key card. So I gotta drive all the way back home to go get it. But when I got there, I couldn't find it anywhere. Suddenly,
has this ever happened to
I put it
you?
in the glove compartment. It was in my car the entire time. Okay, but then because I was driving back.
No, cut her off. Cut her off.
Why did you tell us that whole story?
I don't know.
Why did you tell me that whole story?
I don't know.
Yes!
Yeah. But that meant he was listening to the whole thing.
Right.
It's actually really powerful.
What spoke to you about that particular ad?
I don't know. All the pictures of me, they looked backwards. But when I looked at the mirror ad, I was seeing me as I see myself. And I thought there was something beautiful about that.
He's right, BoJack. Why don't you leave this to the experts? Okay.
Yes, you're a star. Whoa, so you also had sex with your publicist?
Yeah, a couple times. We have a very complicated relationship. It's complicated.
You don't want to know me, BoJack.
No, I do. I want to be known and know others.
You don't. I know you, and I know what you want. This is exactly what you want.
What do you think she meant by that?
Hey, better question. Why am I still getting the LA Gazette?
Okay, your turn. Truth or dare?
Truth.
What is the worst recent thing you did to someone who cared about you?
Thing or the most recent?
Both.
Can you guys keep it down, please? Some people are trying to sleep.
We are keeping it down.
Yo, we've been really quiet.
You're basically shouting.
Sorry.
What would we be talking about?
Yeah, BoJack, what would we be talking about?
I don't know. Dumb stuff. Forget it. Can't sleep here. I'm gonna go sleep in my boat.
Oh, yeah, that'll be much better.
Oh, yeah. Go
Jesus
sleep in the boat.
Christ.
Yeah.
Freeze, candy ass.
Character actress Margot
said freeze.
She's been in here all along!
Me, esteemed character actress and fugitive from the law, Margot Martindale, has been living in your boat?
Is this one of those situations where everything we discuss is confidential? How long have you been in here?
Well, after the incident
Yeah.
in Linda.
Yeah.
So I disappeared for a little bit. Somewhere I knew I had no chance of being discovered.
What?
Regional theater. Run at the La Jolla Playhouse in an obscure Tennessee Williams play.
How did you go on a nationally broadcast TV show with no one catching you?
I disappeared into the role, BoJack. It's called acting. Try it sometime.
And you're the one who's been stealing our food.
You already know too
much.
Yeah.
Hey, BoJack's back.
Yep.
Okay.
My two
Oh,
favorite people
this is kind of
in a
like the
room
OP.
together with
Yeah.
me.
You bet.
Isn't this great, BoJack? The three of us under one roof.
And then, yep, put on the paper mache head.
Perfect. Like,
With all
this
this
is kinda
turmoil
nice.
and upheaval, it sure would be nice to have something you can depend on. Something that arrives every day at your doorstep with a robust art section.
Nope. Let me tell you something about the LA Gazette.
I don't think you finished the story about your publicist. What happened when you told her you wanted to know her?
Oh,
Oh,
right.
no.
So that's how you left things?
Well, that's how she left things. But then I followed her home.
You did what?
Turns out she lives in this tiny apartment in the valley. I could see her through the window, and I just watched her being normal.
There's something very intimate about watching a person be herself.
Yeah, but it wasn't good intimate, like when you see your mom
No,
cry.
it's
It was
sad.
bad intimate, like when your dad writes a poem about Lena Horne's nipples and makes you read it out loud so he can hear if it scans. It's so sad that when you see someone as they really are, it ruins them. I don't want to talk to anybody. What
God.
I want is to have control over my own life, which is why I'm begging you to please cancel my delivery of the LA Gazette.
I don't think you want to do that.
I promise you I do.
No, because that's just theater. It allows you to think you're in control, but the whole idea of control
Come
is a
on.
myth. The universe is a
on.
wild beast. You can't.
No way he wouldn't recognize his mom's voice.
Excuse me, Todd. Can I talk to you for a second?
Sure. Driver, pull over, please.
Can I talk to you alone?
Of course. Driver, put up the partition, please.
That's
The
actually
improv
really
is still
cool
going.
idea.
You should do this without me.
What?
Whoa.
The whole point is we're doing it together.
But you don't need me anymore. You have a whole team of coders, and I don't think that I can work in this house.
What's wrong with the house?
Todd, I need to go.
I don't understand. Did I do something to
Follow
make you
her.
feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable?
No, you are great. I don't think I've been a very good friend to you. Things happened, and I don't think BoJack's been a very good friend to you either.
Oh.
Okay. Hey,
Whoa.
you want this plum? I found it in the kitchen.
Sure.
Nice. I was waiting for the smoke grenade to
Yeah.
come back into play.
How did you know where I live?
Anna.
You need to leave.
No, I know that it's exciting to remain mysterious and in control, but control is a myth. That's a conclusion that I came to recently by myself.
I can't do this now.
I don't want to go home tonight. I want to sleep in your bed. I want to see what you look like waking up. You are a beautiful, sexy, fascinating, terrifying woman, and I want to know you. I'm not afraid of that. And you don't have to be either.
Okay.
And I want to go with the mirror ads for Secretariat.
BoJack, no.
Anna, this is my campaign, and I know what I'm doing. Call up Turtle Tub and tell him I'm not going to be pushed around on this. I'm the star, and what I say goes.
Okay.
Oh, man. Have we established some kind of
Kinda
equilibrium
just
here?
looks like a billboard for the sky.
Yeah, I really didn't think this part through.
I'd hate to be driving down here at rush hour when the sun goes down and hits that billboard.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a real problem.
Well, the good news is BoJack got what he wanted. Ugh.
So,
Okay.
I guess I was wrong.
Yeah. So we're going for the BoJack's into it.
Well, that too, but also it's not his mom. I'm going to the.
Yeah. No, I think.
I'm going to the episode to see what her voice sounds like.
There's
It definitely did
no
sound like
way
her.
that
It
BoJack
sounded like her, man. I know it's wild, and if it was her, they would have revealed it. But all right, I guess I was wrong. That might not have been his mom. I definitely thought I recognized the voice, but maybe
okay,
not. Who
I'm
knows?
curious to see if that character ends up being recurring. That could totally have just been a bit joke for the episode. But
Yeah, I would
regardless,
love to know. Have that passed along to me in Discord and stuff like that. See what the
what
the
it's
thing-
referencing.
what it was referencing. If
Yeah.
if it was something else, you know. If not, then don't pass it along, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, this will be out in a while, so it'll be a long time before that actually catches
Yep.
up. But anyway,
like the
point
stuff that
is,
was brought up with it.
this episode really got into a really cool kind of recap catch up deal with BoJack.
Yep.
And we saw that he needs therapy. He needs someone to talk to like this.
100%.
And it's actually funny because the last episode we were literally talking about how BoJack needs to talk to somebody. He literally needs to talk to a woman, and probably not necessarily a woman, but specifically a therapist.
Yeah,
but it
someone who
wasn't
can help
about the
him out.
things that we were actually thinking he was going to talk about, because he's now actually cool with being in a relationship with his publicist.
Yeah, and which like that kind of makes sense. Like,
Okay.
when if I were to think about situations where you want to get into basically the kinkier side of sex, right? Granted, some skips were stepped, but you know, like
That's what you take out of this, though. Like,
but like
I think
the
he
fact
just coped. He just
that
was
could
like,
totally be what it
yeah,
is.
whatever. Just not
No,
think
right.
about it.
yeah.
Like, because BoJack's riddled with issues. He doesn't need to be like, he's not shocked by the kinkiness of someone coming in and being like a little bit more commanding and stuff.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it. That's not going to be shocking to him. He's
No,
old.
right.
He's
It's
like 50 or something.
Yeah, he's experienced a lot of stuff.
No,
but
this is
he
more
wants
like a power
actual
control thing.
Right, and that is something that is that's something that you can deal with, right? Like that's something where you can then make it so that you can get it into a good place. Because, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm losing you. Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm feeling like this is a thing of where this episode is about control. He ended up in a relationship with somebody who takes a lot of control.
Right.
But then he realized that specifically, while he does need in a lot of ways a little bit of safety and someone else taking control of other areas because he doesn't necessarily trust himself with having a lot of control, he does actually want to see that he's making progress by taking control in little areas of his life. And that's how you make progress, is you look at the little things that you can affect and actually can change, go and affect them. So he goes to the Gazette and he makes a phone call. He goes, talks to customer service. Is like, I want to have some control back in my life.
And the thing is, it ended up being a terrible idea, but hey, there you go. You know, right? Like you enacted control, so you made a decision, right? And so that which is the real issue, not whether or not it's a good ad campaign, that situation is resolved, even though it's going to come at a cost, both physically and literally and in the, you know, success of the ad campaign. And maybe just one last bit to get at the sex angle with the lady, to see if there's some way to make a comparison between her and BoJack, basically.
Okay.
In that, from what we saw of her when she was at her home, she is someone who doesn't necessarily feel like she's in control at home, right? She gets frustrated by the, oh shit, she tried to make some basic shitty macaroni, right? And she got the cheese powder all over herself, right? And it's frustrating. When she goes and she's doing her publicist mode stuff, you know, when she's having sex with BoJack, it's the I'm in control, right?
Yeah.
That's something that she also basically makes the assertion because of probably knowing BoJack fairly well, but then also maybe the similarities between themselves and her past experiences, that you actually would like for things to be like this, because there is a part of BoJack that wants things to be like this, but there's also the part of him that wants to go against his natural tendencies because he knows he has a lot of bad habits, right?
Well, and she's not doing this to help BoJack.
No, not at all. No.
She's projecting, if anything, her own desires onto BoJack.
Maybe, but I would say
she gets fired up and excited when he starts to take control and stuff.
No, right. But what I'm saying is that I think it's something where, in the same way that like BoJack thinks like, oh, why wouldn't, or has thought in the past like, why wouldn't people like me? And everybody's like, no, he's actually really shitty. This is something where from an easy top-down look at BoJack, she's able to see all of this stuff. And the stuff that's deeper beneath the surface, where he wants to take his life back, that's not something that anyone's necessarily going to be able to see. And so then he actually starts to act in and of himself, where he's like, no, this is something I want. I am going to stand up for myself. And then where it ends off in is that hopefully there's some kind of equilibrium, right? I don't necessarily trust that it'll stay that way in the long term, you know, but at the very least, there's a semi-functioning status that they have achieved right now. And as far as the average for the show, I'd say it's a bit more in line with things. So her presence doesn't have to be the absolute chaos wrecking ball of disaster that I thought it would be at the end of the previous episode. But yeah,
and yet she still probably had someone killed or gotten rid of or something like that.
Or
tried
blackmailed enough into silence.
Whatever it was. No, she's a problem.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the idea that we don't have at the very least a consent issue is nice.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And maybe given the fact that I could see there being a lot of similarities in the she's still a problem, maybe that could be an aspect where BoJack sees some of the ways in which he himself is a problem, and then he can kind of be dealing with himself and how he's going to he's going to think about how he interacts with himself in his interactions with her. I don't know.
Right. I think it's pretty simple from that regard. It's that basically that he didn't like the way in which she made him feel out of control and nervous there. So she basically offers sex, and he runs to that as a way to basically be like, see, I have some control. But whenever they're having sex, she's very much like, yeah, you're in control, while she's actually the one driving the sexual engagements. And then he's like, wait, the distance is too much. No, I can't do this.
Exactly.
So he's actually needing the sex for the feeling of control, which she does maybe somewhat intuit a little bit, even though she's also projecting her own desires there.
Exactly.
But he's not really communicating that, so I don't put her in this like extremely like insightful place where she's able to tell that that's actually what he needs or wants.
Nope. I don't see it as being particularly insightful on her part either. No.
Yeah. But really cool developments here for BoJack to then have also a meta kind of conversation, unreliable kind of commentator in the episode here that has a mystery identity that we never really find out. Although the Blarney Stone was focused on, and I'm racking my brain. I'm like, have we had something called the Blarney Stone in the show before this? I don't remember.
Like the voice was fairly similar to his mom, but I think it's distinctly different enough that and he would recognize his mom's voice even over a phone.
They also chose specifically to have 1985 be the first year of her getting the Employee of the Year award, which might line up with some timeline stuff that we've had in the past.
Hang on, we didn't check this part because we went back to season 2, episode 1 to look, to check the way his mom sounded.
Right.
She was there at the end of the episode, and she have like cancer or something. Like she was in a hospital.
Oh, was she dying?
Yeah, because the episode, it has her in the flashback, but then at the end she calls him at the very end. It like
I'm pretty sure she's just.
Could you let it play?
I'm trying to find the spot that actually mentions her having cancer.
No, I don't know if it was actually cancer. She just that's an assumption on my part. It's just that she's old.
Well, okay, you want to hear her voice, basically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me start at the beginning here. Okay. And telling you, yeah, that definitely does sound like her voice. I don't want to fight you, BoJack. And now we'll go to here. Where?
Yeah, I think it's a different voice. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It definitely is a different voice.
But her impact on the episode was really cool. If we have some character, even if it's not her specifically, that comes back, I would really like that. Because I feel like with where BoJack's at, he's grown enough, but he's also come to realize his own issues enough and is more comfortable confronting them, that I could see him actually getting a therapist. Like that doesn't feel completely like impossible. Whereas, a couple seasons, in season 1 or 2, totally. But at the same time, maybe that would make it the conflict from it less interesting from a show perspective.
The issue I have primarily with it is that he's actually not gotten really hurt enough by his own actions in order to actually want to change. I think the main thing is that most of the things that have happened to him end up just kind of working out. So he's not actually learning the cause-effect relationship of his own actions having consequences.
Yeah, so like in this episode where he's like, no, things are actually going pretty well with Todd. Normally I'd say, shut up, Todd. And instead I was like, oh, okay. Actually treating Todd like a human being. Cool.
And now Todd's going to learn what BoJack did.
And so that could, because on the one hand, like I could see Todd not actually being bothered by it too much. He was clearly disappointed, but like
possibly, yeah.
Because,
like, could you see it being a thing where Todd is disappointed by it, and that's part of, or isn't really that disappointed by it, and that's why she didn't tell Todd, was basically that would reveal that he wasn't really ever into her.
Yeah, like because the thing that I feel like Todd would be the most upset by in this situation is, because of your actions, things are now, I'm having trouble connecting with this person who's a really close friend.
Right.
But it's not because you had sex with her, BoJack. It's this is now awkward. Please fix it because I want to have my friend back.
Right.
And regardless of whether or not you feel like you could go on with it, she doesn't feel like she can, and that I don't like that. So come on, do me a solid here. Step up to bat for me, right? You made things uncomfortable and difficult for me. Can you please, get into this? And then that could maybe even be a point of communication where then Todd and I forget her name Emily could talk about the whole situation of the fact that she likes Todd and kind of wants to get it on with him, but that's not something that he's at the very least comfortable with, but maybe not even into at all. Not even into, right? Yeah. Like, and then they could have communication and understanding with that, and we could get a, you know, happy ending, you know, as much as BoJack gets those as a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I am impressed though with a lot of the visual sequences this episode. There are a lot of really cool
especially
animation, kind of walking bits where it walks out to the front door, but also the one as they take the first person POV, not the first person, kind of like the looking at his face, basically like the OP does with regards to kind of following BoJack around the party, and then they kind of ended up with him trending out towards the pool, which that's basically the progression of the story of the opening as well. So that was really sweet. And then tying it all back in the beginning with him waking up with the thing on his head and being like, oh, wow, BoJack's life is kind of a weird, fucked up trip of just stuff. And keeping track of it all and having like that kind of moment where he feels like he's trapped in the really boring episode of The Twilight Zone, which I thought was really funny and meta to have at the beginning. They've done this a couple times in episodes where in the past they've brought up pop culture references to other things and how it feels like we're experiencing this, and then the episode proceeds to give us that exact kind of thing here. Also, it's pretty fun.
One of my favorite jokes that was also like kind of serious is the Diane going on this whole diatribe about, you know, the story and everything that happened, and then Carolyn's just like, why did you tell us that story? And then it cuts to the closer being like, why did you tell me that story? like that, I don't know. It was just so sweet that BoJack would actually remember the whole thing and be able to recount it with exacting detail, even if it's as a way to avoid talking about his own issues and stuff. But, and also the person that's not used to like meeting talk or like, okay, our time is valuable, and then they just go on this
pointless story,
pointless, irrelevant rant.
And
it's like,
okay,
all right,
thank you for wasting our time.
Back to
the original thing, back to the important stuff. There is definitely an element of Diane being still the fish out of water with regards to show business and stuff that is kind of funny. But my other like favorite side joke was the Gazette. Just one employee
with the actual
through the
fire,
maze.
And like he
through the maze of cubicles to then get to the person there who had turned the sales figures 90 degrees to the left so that the sales declining make it look like it's going up. And then it's like, oh, we'll have to bring in the closer. And then they bring the vice president into this,
who then gets in contact.
Who's talking about like, oh, God help us, which I would say if I believed in God, and then goes and it's like, but I believe in the closer.
Like that felt like the 24 Jack Bauer has the personal cell number of the president kind of shit, but the reverse, right? Where it's
it's so good. It's so good. But kooky theories make sense for our Twilight Zone-esque episode. But yes, then character actress
Margot Martindale. Her
was
whole
also in this
thing.
But she took your boat, BoJack.
She took your boat, which
that's actually kind of big in the general like world story. So
I could actually see that being helpful,
gone.
maybe, like because you just know if she wasn't there in the boat, and then he's like, I'm gonna go sleep in the boat. He just turns on the light and he just sees everything. It's just like,
yeah, sure.
You know,
I agree. I think it's still one of those things where the boat has a lingering reminder for us, the audience, of this
what
stuff
happened.
Being something that could come up later.
Sure.
And I will just say, the act of removing it from the audience's perspective so you forget about it is a great way to then set up a gap of time to where it can come back and it's a big deal. And Margot Martindale specifically doesn't necessarily like BoJack. She will do anything to survive. If there's any evidence specifically in the boat left over of that
or let's say she has to disappear into New Mexico. And she takes the boat with her, and then randomly.
Yes, because the boat can reach New Mexico, Jacob.
It's got the truck. And I mean, hey, BoJack bought it in New Mexico, right?
Yes, because New Mexico is international waters.
And then Charlotte just sees the boat and is like, "What the fuck?" Goes to grab a shotgun or something, and then no, it's just.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "Oh no, they go on a cruise, to Alaska to have fun," and Margot Martindale is there, fishing.
No, Margot Martindale becomes a modern day pirate because she did have the RPG, and so she And
oh my god,
like,
the boat becomes a pirate boat.
You know?
Yes,
yeah.
BoJack's boat becomes a pirate ship.
And that's how it becomes
And
infamous.
then she just walks over to, you know, them and is like, look at me, I'm the captain now, you know? With the bazooka in her hand and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It is law. It must be done.
Sure.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about animated shows in general. And also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.